Welcome to another episode of Fearless Founder, where we decode the journeys of first generation founder. In our previous episodes, we have been able to host different founders from various industries and different walks of life. What's common in them is to solve the problem and ability to drive things no matter how bad they are. In today's episode, we will be meeting a founder who is riding right now on India's e commerce wave. He has been an integral part of an e commerce fraternity and also from the entrepreneurial background. He has been featured in various hackathons, including in IIM Ahmedabad. Please welcome, guys, today's guest, Mr. Parth Sharma. Hi, Parth. Happy to have you on the episode of Fearless Founder.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mayur. Glad to be here.
Right. So I and along with my audience here would love to understand that when you say that you are right now solving a problem of new parents or new age parents. So what's the problem basically and how you guys are solving it?
During the initials, when we started the baby boom, it was, I still remember, it was like the peak of pandemic was just getting started. We launched in December 2020, just in between of first wave and second wave. We were just juggling between many things. But before that, we did our research and development on the ground. We interacted with more than 1,000 plus doctors and communicated with the parents as well, what problem they are facing. So we understood about the pain point where people are scared to go out of their houses and buy the essentials for their babies and kids. And we still remember how the macros and the microeconomic work in the Indian market. When the demands are high, the supply is high, the monetary part will always be a high. Currently, as we are seeing, the phase what we are going through in Indian market currently, whether it be e-commerce, whether it be offline market, online markets, wherever we see, demand is always proportional to a supply. But at that point for time, we curated a one box solution where all the essentials, whether it be your apparels, whether it be your diapers, whether it be your skincare essentials, everything was in a one box. So that way we understood there is a point. But first 9 months of our journey was really it was a really a roller coaster ride for us, because the supply chain was affected, and to deliver the product from one place, and that too from Ahmedabad, which was one of uh, the very integral cities where during the pandemic, like it was badly affected, Ahmedabad or let's say Mumbai. So at that point for time, we delivered our products to 20 plus cities across India. So we thought about for getting the first 100 users on the board was a very challenging task for us during the first initial month. We still remember. We just had a 10 by 10 room available where we used to do packaging, where we used to do about our research were taking place of everything. Like you say, our technology or let's say packaging, the back end operations, front end operation, customer support was taking place from just in by 10 by 10 room. And from that one room we actually interacted now with more than 3,000 plus users, and we know what pain point they go through during their initial years.
That's great to hear. So when it comes to this subscription box, so how it actually work? Like, could you just help us understand?
It helps in it is a recurring option, buying option what people want currently. People don't want, like they don't want to order apples now and then. You can use it more than 10, 12 times for a baby, because during the first year where we started from newborn to 2 years during the initial days. So it what happens is when the baby is only of 6 months, let's say, so the growth of a baby is very fast. So what things require is most number of times is the diapers, the skincare essentials, and that too skin friendly, organic, and available easily. Again, economical prices.
Okay.
So we cracked the code, and in just under 1,000 rupees, we were able to deliver 8 products in just one box during the initial days.
Nice.
And
Great.
it is all about the supply chain and operations. how it comes down, because that way the unit economics is always on the higher side. You have to play on the bottom lines. You forget about the top line in the market, because top line is where your market will be very tight to compete in. But when you focus on your bottom lines, that is where you are scalably, that is where you see the growth, and that is where you see the profitability.
Okay, okay. And I think that's where I was surprised to see that India being a price sensitive market and which is everything available, you can buy it on a neighborhood store. Parents buying a subscription box is a phenomenal thing, would I would feel it, because if you see again, the point is you can go to a nearest store, buy it maybe. And India's buying behavior when it comes to kids, like parents buy it or grandparents also buy it. Subscription is something which is very very phenomenal to crack. And as you mentioned that there are already giants, people are talking about their bottom line, top line, so you are competing against few giants here basically. You want to name it as First Cry or other so how exactly you are dealing with these challenges right now?
See, our market is very niche currently. When we started, it was only from newborn to 2 years, and after 1.5 year, currently we deal from newborn to 5 years. It is always challenging, but it's always exciting to compete with the giants out there, as you name the first cry. But it's good to be there in the market, and we are here to change the mentality and to believe in the idea of the baby boy as a sustainability model. What we focus on mainly, where if you say organic and again a sustainable environment, what we are creating, you just have to quote over here uh, the diapers which your normal babies are using currently. Out of that 187 million, the wastage has been produced every year just from the diapers, just
Yes.
from the plastic diapers. And the alternative are already there,
Okay.
which is like cloth diapers, or the traditional way where India used to the langot.
Yes.
I still remember when my mom used to say in the initial days, when we were like in 90, I'm a 90s kid, you can say. So I have seen diapers myself, correct. And we used to be wearing a langot
Yes.
when I was around. I have seen my photos. So langot is like a cotton fabric,
Yes.
correct. You a child or a small baby has to be in a so soothing environment during the first initial years, like, because that's where the growth of a baby happens. And after interacting with the gynecologists and obstetricians, we understood the pain point, and that way we try to make an alternative of the plastics, or let's say nickel chemicals used in the fabrics right now.
All right.
On our side, where we say we are a completely organic product marketplace which we are going to create in next couple of years, is like 100% product which are listed on our website or anywhere, in the whether it is skincare essentials or apparels, they are all organic. Like in apparel also we use azo free dyes which are not harmful to the baby skin or the kids. So we are competing in a very niche market. And when we say, thanks to the pandemic, last year India has seen 27 million babies were born only in 2021. And that is a bit, if we say the growth is very on the upper side, because we are seeing almost 15% CAGR growth rate is happening when we say across the globe. If I say approximately 140 million babies were born.
Right.
So yeah.
So, are you guys sourcing this product from somewhere? Are you manufacturing these products, or how you have cracked this code?
So currently the apparel part, which is like completely manufactured under the rooftop of the Baby Boo, we have partnered with a couple of manufacturers in Jaipur and Mumbai, where we plan and design and manufacture our apparels. Other than that, we are moving towards a complete marketplace model, where we want to not only promote small and medium enterprises, but we look ourselves to be the next platform where people can showcase their products, because we have seen more than 500 brands are already there in Indian market, SMEs and MSMEs, where they need a platform to promote. You can't just spend like 3 lakhs a month on the marketing and then you say we are not getting a sales. It's not about that. It's about the brand what you are creating. The direct to consumer market currently, it's like a huge in India, but everybody needs a platform. So Babyboo as a mediator would like to be that place where all the such brands in terms of organic, whether it be skincare, whether it be toys or apparels, they have this platform where they can showcase the products and make live and go out there and make a big market, because India is next Asian market where we see the future about. We have to make our brands atmanirbhar, and we as a make in India platform and made in India community, and with the help of Mom's Army, we want to create that in next down the line, in next 24 months or 36 months.
That's a great vision, Parth, because when you say that you are building up a community of moms, and that's where I think I have been also building my community, and how community help you to achieve your goals is very, very important. So you're empowering moms here. That's a great thing. One thing which I love to understand is you have been a part of entrepreneur community from the college days, trying a lot of startups in the past. So how, what was the journey, how is the journey about in last 7 odd years you have been, what's your experience through this journey, because you've worked with a lot of people in the past, so what's your learning out of that?
So here, I started my journey. I still remember the date. It is just recently passed. It is 14th June 2014 when I first time made a public appearance and pitching for my own startup. That was first Shodho Women Empowerment and Employment. And that point of a time, I just had, you won't imagine, I had 8 co-founders at that point of a time. So like managing 8 co-founders is a big, again, a huge task, and that too all were engineers.
Yeah.
And we were geeks about our technology, we were geeks about the what we are building, the community space for the women's again at that point of a time. But last 7 8 years it has been always a roller coaster ride, but it's always a challenging, but again at the same time it's always about what you learn, what you achieve, and how you showcase yourself. So I still remember the period of 2014 to 16. There were n number of hackathons used to happen in India. Right now, it has almost come down to zero.
Yes.
I am not seeing where hackathons are happening currently, but I still remember I myself have took part in more than 20 plus hackathons. So where you network, where you have the ideas, actually explore the market. And after 2016 everything changed, the startup boom actually happened. uh, but my journey, it's always started actually when I was 16 and 17.
Okay.
You are you're from Gujarat, you know about Divya Bhaskar newspaper, which
Yes.
comes. So
Yes.
one day it just out of a blue moon, I just opened that paper, and Ritesh Agrawal, the founder of Oyo, there was just an article about it, and a 16-year-old guy was saying about he's just 17 and he is doing something. So I just read it out, and I was like, what is this startup? And that way it clicked in the mind. And as soon as I entered in my engineering college, so when I used to talk about ideas and startup, nobody used to appreciate it, because that time you are a youngster in engineer. You are just in a cocoon where you want to explore a lot of things, but again there are assignments, there are examinations, but
Right.
other than that, there is a design thinking process. There is a empathy mapping. There is a process of about the canvases and how the ideas has to be nourished out of it. So
Right.
got an opportunity to work with many university professors and the mentors during very young age, and that way I first time tasted the blood of a startup actually. So when I say tasted it, it's like after the first hackathon only I was always sure about this is what I want to do for my life. I know it will create it will take a lot of time, and 7 8 years will be there to learn everything about it. But
Hmm.
let's taste it. Let go for it. Doesn't matter what you fail about. I myself, if I say I have failed as a startup, I had my first startup failed actually. Started the second and next 1.5 year in 2016 17, worked on it, get it scaled, managed properly. But again, lot of learnings come into the picture. It is about the team building, it about the mentors, how you are scoping it, how you are dealing with your investors, how you are actually creating a product. Because the life cycle of a product has to be always validated. It shouldn't be like आपने एक product बना दिया and now you are just done with it. It has to be validated now and then. You
Right.
have to test with alpha beta model, then the final prototype will be coming in, then the final product launch will be coming into place. So this way, when we say the journey has to be still reach where we are heading towards it, still a lot of changes to be done. But again, it's an amazing journey, it has to be lived. Yeah.
All right, all right. So, and just to understand is that, see, we all go through a lot of distraction. If you see right now, being an entrepreneur, you work with a lot of people. Sometimes when you are in a startup arena, you get a lot of such ideas, a lot of new distraction, a lot of new market, crypto and NFT, and all these things comes in our mind. We understand that there is a lucrative idea. Why can't we work on that? So being an entrepreneur, you also get exposed to a lot of distractions, right? So how do you basically cope up with these distractions? What really makes you focus about your own ideas?
So currently, distractions in the Indian market, or let's say a global market, is only the one thing. After 2022, we have seen more than 80 plus unicorns already. So the funding buzz out there, it's like everybody wants to be a unicorn. But in making that unicorn happen, people forget the process. So it is a one step at a time what you take. When we talk about the distractions at our level, it is like how we are challenging ourselves on a daily basis. So if you have one challenge like what, why can't Babybo just merge this thing with a new idea? Let's say when we planned about the mom community, we were thinking like just go for an application where moms are there and they can only be the social e-commerce type. But again, we have to think of again in the perspective of why can't we take all together at a one flow and create one business model with a multiple revenue stream. So when we talk about distraction, is always you need to be sure with your idea. You have your vision ahead. You have your mission statement with you, and you have a backing of your team. Because for me, it is always what decision I take at my level. It will always hamper my team. You have to think that way as well,
Makes
because the decisions are like which are taken at the a higher level. You have down the line, you have whether it be a 10 people team or a 15 people team or a 100 people team, but the decision is always lucrative. It has to be backed by the numbers, it has to be backed by the proper data and due diligences. It shouldn't be like I have got an idea, let's do it, and
great.
when you do it you might waste $500,000 into it, and out of it nothing will come out. Just an example over here of a baby boo. When we started in initial days, there are a lot of sources available out there. Haywire happens a lot. Like when we started our baby boo, having an experience in the startup domain already, but sometimes what happens is people is saying this, we should go for it, and if you go for it you waste lot of money. You, because the trust factor in the ecosystem is still lacking out there. You can't trust everyone out there with your money. They
Right,
will just take it and leave it in the middle.
right.
So discipline and the attitude what you follow in a startup is the must.
That's absolutely. These are the great key points because, as I said, discipline is very important because right now in the blood of, if you say, ideas or investing, and people are running behind new ideas. People want to invest money. People, and even startup wants to raise money as quickly as possible. If you follow this and don't focus on your ideas, then at the maybe 6 months down the line, you will have nothing left with you. And that's a great way to summarize that. Yes, discipline is very very important. And as I said, apart from technical skills, because you come from a technical background and you've done your engineering and then your marketing as a major, but what are the different one thing that you feel which is like helping you to perform on again and again, because you have been a part of three startups till now. So what's that ability again which you feel that yes, that is the ability, because of that you have been consistently running this show?
So when I started Shodho in 2014-15, so at that point of a time, I was only known about the technology. Like technology is the next big thing which can change the mindset and the community in Indian market. And that way we weren't aware about what is customer satisfaction, what is like building a tech with having a proper validation in the market, how to test the product, how to like actually interact with the customer on ground. So I learned all those things from that particular startup and during initial years of 1 to 2 years, and post that implemented in my another startup. And now after because other than a technology, lot of things take place. Like it is your finances, your marketing, but which type of marketing you are doing on the ground. It is like ATL, BTL activities are required or not,
Yes.
how you want to approach it. Let's say in our case, we were dealing with parents and hospitals. So
Hmm.
it was very important for us to actually go on the ground and interact with them during the pandemic. And that, anyhow, we did it. We interacted with more than 1,000 plus doctors, and at the same time interact with more than 500 plus parents,
Okay.
whether it is online or offline. So always the first thing, see, you make a product, you make a good brand, but until and unless people are not buying it, it is not worth it.
Hmm.
So always listen to your customers, always validate it with your customers. We still remember from 270 subscribers, which we did in first 6 to 8 months. It was a very hardship for us, but that 270 subscribers actually let us know what is wrong, what is right. So we focus on what is wrong, we changed it, and then we launched our beta version in the market. People didn't want it like only apparel. People didn't want it only the skincare. People wanted like, why can't I only subscribe for a essential? Why can't I only subscribe for accessories?
Okay.
So customer teaches you a lot, and in this domain of a startup, like currently we have seen 10-minute deliveries. Why? Because that is a mindset what is changing. If you need it, it is right there. Why? Because they again interacted with those customers and it's the right mindset to go with it. Until and unless your customer doesn't need a product, you are no one in the market.
Right. Right. So you and your team basically conceptualize this particular idea during the lockdown. Like what? So what was the initial thought you guys had, and how you actually went in to create an entire business model? What did that strike you that yes, that could be a business model as well?
So what struck us is during the initial, in April 2020 actually, before just a pandemic was hit and 1 month we were into it. And during that point of we were just on an R&D part. And we thought why this is the right time, because essentials for a babies and kids is the most important part during the initial years. We started interacting with doctors, and that way we got to know is I wouldn't say, I can't name directly, but we have seen what kind of a kits are provided in the hospitals,
Hmm.
and I can bet on that. We have seen such a bad quality of the products at a so cheap price, which is like if baby wears it or if it is not cleaned properly, it is not kept separately, a baby can die. We have
Right.
seen those kind of a kids actually.
Okay.
So when doctor initiated like Parth, like to my other co-founders as well, why can't you create just a one box where everything is provided to the hospital and they baby can use it?
Hmm.
Because out of 27 million babies which were born last year, 14% only stays in the urban market. What about the rural market?
Right.
We want to impact at that level where everybody has a chance to use that kit in a very sustainable environment and a clean environment.
Right. Right.
Everybody can't you afford 1,000 rupees thing, but if it is coming from a hospital, it
Hmm.
has to be a most sustainable kit in a clean way actually. The fabric, a 20 GSM fabric, if you wore yourself, it might be like toned in just 10 minutes in a sweat. How can a baby wear that? So at
Yes.
that point of time, we got about idea like this is a business model we want to take ahead.
Hmm.
Let's create a one box solution and that see how it heads forward. So we started with just a one box solution. Now we are customizing that box according to the customer's need. Now people are buying the hybrid products actually, and now people are actually demanding we need more accessories from the baby boo.
Okay.
Currently, we have a presence is more than 22 plus states. We
Oh, wow.
have more than 10,000 plus traffic right now, which is growing at 20% month on month.
Wow.
If you compare that with an e-commerce market right now, which is for us, it is low, but we have seen the positives here. So
Yeah.
now we are challenging that and creating a environment for all the mothers, parents, and parents to be where actually they can live that sustainable environment and make a 1% uh, impact on the society.
All right. And as you mentioned previously as well, getting a first 100 customer is difficult, and that's where the real challenge lies, because they also give you a lot of feedback. There are a lot of problems, then you correct it. How difficult it was to get first 100 customers, and what was the learning that actually helped you to grow much faster now?
So it was a very difficult task actually. We did our first 100 customers in 55 to 60 odd days,
Okay.
where we were planning before a launch. We were used to think like it can be done in next 1 month or so, but it took us 2.5 months to reach first 100 customers. We started with our friends and family. That is the first easy way to go ahead for any startup. Second was again out of that customer, we interacted with them. We have some interns with us because we followed a lean methodology over here. If you have to grow, you have to grow as a team. You can't grow as an individual. So what we did is, if one parent was buying it, we're directly calling them, asking their feedback, and if they have any source or available in their friends or family, in their friends and family. So this way the chain created, and
Hmm.
this way we reached to first 100 customers, and we validated our idea.
All right. Okay, that's a great model basically. And I'm like just a curious question. I'm sure all of you, all of the co-founders and founders are not married, right? If I'm not wrong.
No, no.
So did you get that kind of objection as well, that you guys don't know the problems of the parent? Is that all the question you got?
Yeah, we have got actually a lot of times, but thanks to our mentors and advisors who are also our stakeholders currently.
Right.
So they are married and they are doctors already. So we have got to know a lot of things from them, how gynecologist thinks or how obstetricians thinks, and moreover, how parents think actually for their baby. See, I have heard this thing from one of the great person in the hospitality industry, which is like people spend more of the money or they are very caring about their parents and about their children.
Right.
So they will spend it. But how they are spending it is the most important task which you have to crack it. So that could be cracked it by creating a one box at an economical price and where people can afford it. And then again to create that experience, we launched our the baby milestone book where they can keep all their memories, how the baby was born, what first month crawling or let's say second month crawling,
Hmm.
how he or she first time kicked actually. That whole book what we give into our box, let's say as a whole customized box what we create is the most
Great.
important.
Great, great. And see, India is right now at a very growth stage of an e-commerce, and also the D2C that we were talking previously. It's growing by a 19% of CAGR, and in like 2025, we see that it will be $110 billion kind of a market. So, where do you see this segment? How much is the pie that you have, this particular industry is taking, and what's the kind of goals that you have set for yourself?
So, as you mentioned about 19% CAGR growth rate in e-commerce market, Currently, if we see only about the baby care market, currently, if I say it is growing at a 14.8% CAGR. As we talk about the total addressable market, which is the TAM. So, in the baby market currently, which comprises of more than $25 billion market, which is still untapped and can be achieved, because lot of things is yet to be done in a baby segment in Indian market. Because when we say organic, we say sorry, when we say organic, we say sustainable environment, we say clean everything. Apart from that, the serviceable available market for the baby boo is more than $1 billion, and we can obtain it in next 3 years or 5 years down the line. We have that capacity because we know how the operations work, how the supply chain takes place. We know how the chain can be created and how SMEs and MSMEs, which are already there in the Indian market, as I mentioned earlier, 500 brands in the baby care segment already there, which are on Instagram or a Facebook. They are selling it through it, but they don't have a right platform, right kind of audience where they can achieve it. So we want to create that, and Baby Boo has a potential if we focus mostly on B2B, B2C marketplace. When
Hmm.
we see about a marketplace model, every year the growth is there. If we talk about that perspective of a mother, let's say if somebody has bought apparel of for a 6 month baby, the return rate, the retention of a customer is like more than 20% to 30% right now, if in a baby kids industry,
Right.
and which is growing exponentially.
Hmm.
We have to focus on the growth and scalable part right now. Profitability will be always on the bottom line, and
Great.
that is where we have to focus.
Correct, correct. So are you also like trying to go vertically as well as horizontally, or what's your focus for next 1 year now?
So our focus is to move in a vertical direction. Why? Because you have plethora of ideas into your mind and you want to explore it one
Hmm.
by one. So we are just setting up our base currently with a marketplace model. In next 2.5 months, we will be entering into it, and with a mom community base, we already have 1,500 plus mom communities registered with us, with more than 250 mom influencers on board already from different cities. And as we are moving with a marketplace model, one thing will lead to another thing. When I say one thing lead to another thing, is you have brands, you have sellers onboarded, and now it is the time to market it. How you market is with the word of mouth marketing directly from mothers. If something is coming from a mom, it is directly hitting the consumer's mindset. If she is saying it, it is useful. And that has also changed in last 2 years in a pandemic. We have seen people moving from a traditional marketing to a influencer marketing more. People are spending a lot, but everybody can't afford it. A small brand who is just started in a Chennai, or let's say in a Nagpur city, they can't spend 80,000 on a one influencer.
Right, right. No, totally agreed. I think that makes a good platform for a lot of sellers, a lot of smaller brands who are looking forward to a right platform and the right community. So recently, like you in the past, in the angel investment, you guys have raised 750K and you've been going. So any plans raising fund in terms of expansion? Do you have these in pipeline right now?
Yeah, we are actually planning our next fund round by next one and a half months. So we will be closing a round by 30th of July, most probably, to expand it. And for that, the fund will be only focusing on the growth, the technology part, what we are making. We want to make it so easy for a brand or a seller to come in and like within a minute they are onboarded, and within 24 hours they start earning from our platform.
That's great. That's amazing. And any like, what's the kind of ARR that you guys are hitting, and what's the target you have for next 3 years now? Because you, as you are pitching up to investor, definitely you have your things aligned right now. So what's the
So,
current ARR you guys are hitting?
yeah, so currently our projected ARR will be near about 100K USD to 150K USD.
Right.
which we are focusing on. So it is growing at a 20% growth right now, but we have our plans in play, which will be changing from August probably, and we will be hitting more than 80% run rate now and then, and which is on a higher side. And by next year, you will definitely see like Baby Boo has expanded to a lot of cities, not only online but offline as well. That is the major plan,
Okay.
where we want to also focus on and take on the giants as you mentioned, because we want to provide them experiential experience, not the traditional ones which are already there. Because we have seen like there is only a one giant in last decade, so another one is getting ready and it will soon be the shootout out there and be in the online and offline marketplace model.
Great. And just a quick question. I mean, like, this is the very flip side of it. If you want to rewind your last 3 years being the founder, what are those mistakes that you want to go and correct that?
See, mistakes is like a lot of mistakes you make when you are in this journey. Actually, if I have to mention that specifically, as I mentioned earlier, don't trust each and everyone. Nobody is your friend in this market. Firstly, everybody is like here to chase the dream, and somebody will come and take your money out of your pocket, and you will be like, "Why that happened to me?" Correct. So you
Right.
first thing is like trust your instincts first, and then go ahead with any of the business perspective if you have any in the mind with that particular person or entity out there or a company as well. Uh, Always choose right team in the initial days, which is most important part, which actually we did. Because I still remember when I was building Shodho and Fashion Nation, we only have a team from a technical background.
Right.
Currently, I can be proud to say that we have a diversified team where some take part of a technology, some handles marketing, some handles finance, and sales part. So we have a diversified team which we are blessed to have on board already. We have good stakeholders. So pretty much mistakes we all make, but it's always about the trust and discipline you have to follow.
Great. And before we wind up, I have a very quick question for you, Parth. Is being a founder, how important for you is to know marketing and sales? Because that's where a lot of revenue generation happens. You tend to create strategies. So if those founders who do not come from marketing or a sales background, do they face any kind of challenges in the real world?
Actually, if I say it's 50-50, why I would say, see, some people are meant to be only for the product kind of a stuff, and some are made to be a brand, and then some are for sales and marketing. So
Right.
when we talk about our sales and marketing, those are like two other different things. When we say marketing, people only think about online; they don't go for offline.
Offline.
Offline is only for sales, so people have that mentality already. So I always bet on freshers. Why? Because they are horse riders. Wherever you say it, they will focus on that part. They have this target in the mind and they will do it for you. So in the sales, it is most important part is to interact and to know your customers offline.
Right.
Visit it. Our team, if I say we have on a running basis, we have interns from different colleges working with us, where we ourselves go and take part into that activities as well, where we actually give them an opportunity to interact with at least 100 users offline, where they know what are the challenges what they are facing. It can improvise in their capability. They get in terms of confidence, in terms of how they see the market is behaving, and also they get you the feedbacks. Most of the time they are negatives, but again it can become positive if you have a right team with the right mindset.
That's comes to an end of our episode, Part. Thank you for spending the last 40 minutes with us, sharing your journey, learnings with our audience, and we wish you best of luck. And as you are in a process of raising the fund, again we wish you best of luck for that as well. And those who have joined us for this episode, thank you for watching us, guys. Don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel and follow me on LinkedIn. Next week, we are coming up with another founder at Fearless Founder and learn from their experience. Thank you, Fat, for being in the show.
Thank you so much, Mayur. It was pleasure being here.
Thank you.